I think the most important thing I've learned is like visiting other people's islands really helps because they have different stuff that you don't have. So I've had to like go to people's islands. They have a different store than I have, which has different stuff to buy, which makes my island better. And then my island points go up. I had a 2-star island for a while. That's really embarrassing.
Lauren Lapkus is keeping busy in isolation, playing Animal Crossing at home with her husband, Mike Castle. Like many of us, she says they have an obsession and can't stop playing. Well, I recently spoke with the actress about her new Netflix film, The Wrong Missy. But before we got into it, she gave me an update on her Animal Crossing space and how her husband cheated the game.
Yeah, now I have like 4 rooms. It's really, I'm in debt like a million bells, but I have 4 rooms. It's really great. But my husband actually, Mike didn't have the patience for the game and he like time hopped to like get ahead of the game and it messed up everything. And I mean, I had to like scold him and fix it. He was cheating.
I got to chat with Mike last month about his Netflix series, Bruise Brothers. And during the interview, Lauren came up when Mike's co-star, Alan Eisenberg, revealed that the couple are 2 of the most quick-witted people he's ever met. So we asked Lauren, who's the more witty one between them. Watch.
I guess I have to say him so I sound humble. But I don't know. Alan, that was so sweet of Alan. I think Alan is like the nicest guy ever. I don't know why he would feel intimidated by me, but it's very flattering. I think it was a compliment, so I'll just take it.
Yeah, and Mike's a comedian. Do you 2 ever practice comedy together or run jokes by the other person?
We just joke around all the time. So I think it's just part of our relationship to be funny together. And we do podcasts together and stuff from home. So we're often just finding ways to perform together and make each other laugh, which is really nice during this time. At least I'm quarantined with somebody who's funny.
While Mike is making Lauren laugh in isolation, she is hoping fans will find the funny in her outrageous character in The Wrong Missy. Here's a clip.
Are these for me?
Those aren't.
You got me roses? That is so sweet. I want to motorboat them.
Now, the movie's about a middle-aged businessman who accidentally invites the wrong woman to his company's Hawaii retreat. I asked her if it was ever a challenge portraying such an over-the-top character.
It was. I mean, this character is so crazy, and I'm really excited for people to see it because it's just so off the wall. But it was challenging in the sense that like I had to have so much energy every day because we were shooting for long days, and this character is like screaming for like 90% of the movie. So I feel like I had to like be firing on all cylinders all the time. And I mean, that was really good for me, but also, yeah, hard sometimes because you just get tired and you want to not put out a lot of energy.
Because some of the scenarios are so absurd, was there ever a time that you broke character or just it was really difficult to get through a certain scenario?
Yes, there were many points where we were just laughing or we couldn't believe we were doing certain things. There was the episode, the scene on the plane, I think is a good example because when I first like re-encounter his character on the plane, we have a moment and it's so silly that we couldn't stop laughing. It really was like, once you see it, you'll know.
In the film, Lauren stars alongside David Spade, who she has been a longtime fan of. She shares what it was like working with him and the special way that they bonded off set.
I think just how nice he is and how warm he is, because he, when you see him do his comedy, he can be so sarcastic, or he just, you wouldn't necessarily assume that he would be like one of the nicest people. So I truly was so surprised and delighted that he was such a good person and so easy to hang out with. And we watched The Bachelor together. It was like he's very easy to hang out with. He's a cool guy.
I'm obsessed with his Instagram stories about The Bachelor. So funny. Are you watching this latest spinoff, Bachelor Listen to Your Heart?
I am. I'm watching it, and I'm also like Mike and I are doing watch-alongs where we record a podcast where we talk over the entire show, and you can sync it up with it, so you can hear every single thought we have while we watch the show. Because I usually do Instagram stories, but I was like, I just want to talk over the whole thing. So I love this show. It's kind of amazing because like I love The Bachelor, but it's really fun to watch these contestants like who are all amazing singers, and they have to perform together. It's like a whole other element. So I'm very into it.
Speaking of David Spade, have you heard the pleas for David Spade to play Tiger King's Joe Exotic instead of Nicolas Cage in the upcoming scripted TV show adaptation of the docuseries? I got Lauren's take on it.
I think he would be the funniest Joe Exotic. That would be so funny. I don't know. I saw that Nicolas Cage was cast in the role, so I guess they're taking a more like real approach to that because he's so methody, but David would be so funny as that role. I would love to just see him do a sketch as Joe Exotic. It would be hilarious.
The Wrong Missy is produced by Adam Sandler's production company, Happy Madison. You might have heard of it. Lauren shares what it was like working with Adam and his team.
Yeah, Adam did come around and hang out, and he also worked on the script a bit, so he was definitely involved, and he's just the best. I truly was like, I had a small role in Blended, which is a movie they did a few years ago, and like I didn't think they would even like remember me from that. So to be able to come back and have this bigger role in this movie and get to work with these guys again was so cool. Because I've just admired them for years, and it was just amazing. And everyone in that whole crew, and like from the hair and makeup people to like, you know, every single department, they've been working together for so many years with Happy Madison. So it was really neat to be able to like fall into the crew and hang out.
Now, the premise of the Wrong Missy is pretty relatable. I asked Lauren if she has ever sent out a wrong text.
I've received a text about me. I've been on the receiving end, so it's not cool. It doesn't feel good.
Wait, what was it?
It wasn't great. I don't even know. It was just talking about me to somebody else. But it was one of those things where I'm like, I have to just forgive because I understand that this is a mistake. I could easily have made this mistake. And like when you're texting about somebody, it's so easy to text that person because you're thinking about that person and then you type their name in. I mean, it was rough, but it wasn't like so mean that I couldn't handle it. But it was just kind of like, oh, it's weird to like see someone talking about you to somebody else. And
oh my, yeah, I don't know. It just makes me cringe. I think it's just as a rule of thumb, it's probably good just to not talk bad about your friends. Like maybe like that's the lesson.
I think that is the big takeaway because like my first piece of advice would be like slow down and make sure you're texting the right person, but probably better just to not talk about your friends negatively. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another piece of the movie, you know, Tim and Missy go on a blind date, gone wrong. I mean, have you ever been on a blind date or something like that from the past?
I'm really grateful that I haven't. I tend to like date people for long periods of time. So like I really I've been on like a handful of dates in my life, but none of them were terrifying in the way that this blind date is, thankfully. But I don't know if I could handle it if I went on a blind date with someone and they just started screaming and starting fights. I don't know. Yeah. Have you been on a blind date before?
I've never been on a blind date, but I've done a lot of online dating. And I feel like it's kind of like a blind date. You don't know the person. You just have an idea of what they look like. But then sometimes they show up and they don't really look like that, you know?
Yeah.
It's rough. So you've been married to Mike for a little over a year and a half, but is there anything that you miss about dating?
Oh, you know, not really. I think I'm so grateful that I found like the person that I'm really excited to be with all the time. So I don't really miss the feeling of like trying to find that person. But I think those moments when you're single, it can be really exciting to try to like go out with different types of people and hopefully find that connection. But I'm just grateful.
Everyone, be sure to check out The Wrong Missy. It streams on Netflix starting May 13th.